We are live. Welcome to another exciting edition of Our Believe in City. You can see to my right or to my left, depending on where you are. That is my man Lance. I'm your host, Mikey Two Guns, and we are doing the show tonight to talk about the Red Sox taking 2 out of 3 in the Bronx, keeping the New York Stankies reeling. And Lance, it was I know you tuned in for it.
Yep.
It's quite an intriguing game with the pitchers duel. What are your initial thoughts of what you saw?
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Pitching duel. Going into the 7th inning, it's a 0-0 game in the Bronx. The Yankees want that game. They don't need that game, but they do need that game on the skid they've been on, in my opinion.
Psychologically.
And it's crazy because you would think after yesterday, winning, 14 to whatever it was.
14 to 4. Yeah,
14 to 4. I was going to say 14-3. Yeah. You would have thought that they would have came out a little bit more loose, more active with the bats. But, man, give the credit to Cutter Crawford. My goodness.
He shut them down, completely. Completely. It was I was looking at his line, and he was doing something that hadn't been done in like 10 years. He was into the 5th inning with 40 pitches. He was just mowing them down, and it was efficient. Talk about taking that Yankees team that was up here, from yesterday, riding that confidence. We're putting up all those runs to, bringing them right back down to earth, which is where they've been for. Do you have that stat in front of you? What they've been over the last 20-something games? It's bad.
They've lost. What was it, 17 out of their last? I had it. I lost
20, 23 or something like that, right?
It's bad.
Yeah,
and you can see, Aaron Boone at the press conference. I watched a little bit of it, and he seems deflated.
Yeah,
he seems like we better figure this out quicker than later. And for Red Sox fans, I know that makes you all very happy.
That is music and music and a sight for it's like Red Sox porn for us. It's great stuff.
And what you were talking about through the 40 pitches, I actually had wrote down. Cutter, 7 innings pitched, only gave up 4 base hits. He had 4 Ks, and he only threw 68 pitches. Wow.
That's crazy. Talk about efficiency, man. That's a whole new level of efficiency right there. So I know one of my turning points in the game, and I think we talked about it right before the show. What was that with when Juan Soto? Talk about that inning.
So you got Juan Soto comes up in the 7th, hits a double right off the bat. There's your potential
to lead off
game-tying run right there. Yep. And what does Cutter Crawford do? He goes Paul Pierce mode on him, Kobe Bryant, whatever you want to say. He sits down not only Aaron Judge, he then sits down Alex Verdugo, and then he sits down Anthony Volpe to end the inning, get out, sit him down, cool off. That right there was probably huge. In my opinion, the biggest part of that game, because if he gets rocked, if you start getting out of hand, they might not, the game's over maybe.
The crowd starts getting into it. They get the momentum. He just completely shut down usually you get a double to lead off an inning. You're at least scoring one run. You're scoring one run.
Especially when you're at home, you're the Yankees. You're supposed to be this spectacular team.
Oh, yeah. A 300-something million payroll. These guys are supposed to be, the second coming of the All-Star team, and our little hodgepodge, group of cast-offs.
The little engine that could. That's
making them look like chumps, So,
Austin, that might be some marketing for you. You guys need to print a little engine that could shirt, because nobody was giving you guys the
seriously.
Chance. And now, or actually, I had wrote here, we talked about the 17, but New York's lost 8 of its last 11. And they've lost. You got to think they lost 3 to the Reds. Then they lost 2.
Reds swept them.
That's 5 out of 6. If you're a Yankees fan, I wouldn't say I don't think you hit the panic button, but you're in that kind of tier right under that where you're like, okay, if we lose too many more, panic button, because you're going to lose your confidence. They're going to lose their rhythm. I mean, there's so many Yankee fans on Twitter right now, like wanting Boone to be fired right now.
They are.
So
They're at like DEFCON like 3 or 4 right now. Like it's getting high. And the thing too, it was only like a few weeks ago. The Yankees were freaking 14 games up on the Sox. Now it's 4.5. Like,
and you
they're
look
hearing
now,
footsteps. They're hearing those footsteps.
They're 3 games behind the Orioles now, the Yankees. And, you know, it's like, you know, that's a team that they thought they were going to be making this run on, getting back ahead. Now honestly, to me, this is what you got to think as a Red Sox fan. Hold the AL's third wild card spot.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 4.5 games out of the top wild card spot. You got the MLB's the ninth best record in MLB, and you're 6-1 in your last 7. Red Sox are hot.
Absolutely. I mean, the baseball we were talking about, it's a game of streaks. You know, you get hitters when they get hot, they get on hitting streaks. When the team gets on winning streaks, like it's been infectious. The Sox, they're riding some great momentum, and we talked about this right before the show. Their next series, who do we got coming in to play us?
You got the over-scaring Oakland A's. Halloween's coming early this year.
Yes. So, I mean, watch us get swept. I don't want to jinx it, but like we should.
You better win 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
we should.
Won.
You got to, you know, the one thing about the MLB too is that you hope to go 500 against the really good teams and then just beat up on the the bottom feeders.
This could be a get-right game. I mean,
we're salivating. We're salivating as Sox fans with the series coming up.
It's not necessarily. I guess I wouldn't call it a get-right game because you guys have been right. It's a continue to be right game.
That's right.
You know, maybe somebody that's still struggling a little bit, or maybe he's not where they want to be. Get right this series. You know.
Yeah.
And that'll start Tuesday. I think I wrote.
That's right. So it's actually kind of good because it gives us a little time to rest. I mean, not like our bullpen was too taxed this series, but you know, Kenley pitched 2 of the 3 games. It can't hurt to get the days off in the MLB. I mean, they play 165 games.
I've told you, a guy yesterday, I told you off camera, I believe, that I'm really starting to like, and you said, you know, man, it's kind of funny you say that because he had been struggling, is Yoshida.
Yeah.
But man, somebody else, not to cut you off, the Rafaela solo home run again tonight.
Oh, that he is
he's good.
You know, the Sox are a young team, and he's a guy they called up late last year. And I mean, he's had so much potential.
I think I told you that at the position he bats 9th, he has the most driven in RBIs in the MLB.
Really?
I think he did as coming into tonight. So he's putting up some good stats for you guys.
2 big home runs this series. 2 big home runs. I mean, he had the game winner in that incredible comeback Friday night. Yeah. After Yoshida did the most clutch thing with 2 outs, 2 strikes in the 9th, tying the game. Rafaela out of the 9th spot hits the home run game winner, and tonight he follows up, he was like the sandwich in between Rafi's 2 home runs. Had another bomb tonight. So
he went 1 for 3 tonight. Yeah,
that's it. You know, aside from he's a defensive wizard. He's great in center field and at shortstop.
He's good.
But his bat and his speed too. Now it's been clutch, and he's kid's a rookie. So there's nothing you can't help but get excited about this kid. I mean, he's got like kind of like Mookie Betts, like electricity.
He does.
So
it seems like the fans in Boston are growing more and more on him. You know, especially when he delivers like he
big
does.
Big time. I mean, the Sox, the Sox did a smart thing at the beginning of this season when he was playing good. And you don't see this too much. He's a rookie, but I think they sensed his potential and they signed him to a kind of a longer term deal, like right away. And it's probably going to be smart because this kid has a potential of like becoming a 5-tool player like Mookie Betts. So
it was an early gamble they took that will pay off because, like you said, if you wait and he keeps doing this, he would have wanted way more than what he probably ended up getting.
And with the management and with how cheap they've been, he would have priced himself right out of this team. Yeah. So So yeah, that was kudos to them for that. One of the few smart things that they've done.
And then, of course, you touched on it earlier when you were texting me.
Yeah.
Talk about Devers and that Barrett Andrews.
Oh man,
that's an all-star player.
Devers, okay, Devers. We need to make. We could make some money if we start doing some OBC merch. Like we'll have something like Devers, the Yankee killer, because he is absolutely feasting off Yankee, and it's been like this his whole career. This series he had 3 home runs, tonight 2 home runs, but the guy just kills it when he's in Yankee Stadium. And tonight on the ESPN broadcast, he tied a very when you tie this guy David Ortiz with a Red Sox record, it's something big. He tied Ortiz for most home runs by a visitor in Yankee Stadium. And Lance, I don't know if you're frozen there. I don't know if you can still hear me, but okay, I see you moving. Did we lose Lance? We lost Lance. Okay. Well, we will wait for Lance to come back, but while we wait for him, I will go back into what I was saying about Devers. He's one of the best players. Lance is back. There he is. Okay. For a second, I just thought you're just like so like amazed by my point that you're frozen like. Welcome back, Lance.
You froze me.
But yeah, back to Devers. When you tie a guy like Ortiz in some type of record, that's significant because Ortiz, greatest clutch hitter in MLB history, in my humble opinion. But it's no joke. He tied Ortiz for the most visiting home runs in Yankee Stadium for a visiting player in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, because that was 16 for him.
16,
right? Sorry,
yes,
I cut out
yes.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries.
Wow.
And you got to think he's got many years left in his career, so he's going to be on top of that list. He tied Ortiz for the Red Sox record. There's 2 other players ahead of him, but only by like 3 home runs. So,
and it seems like, if you're a Red Sox fan, how cool is it that Devers seems to play well, obviously against the Yankees? You want to play well against your rivals. As a Laker fan, I wanted Kobe to play well against Boston. You guys wanted KG and them to play well against us. You want your best players to get up.
There's something about players, you get some players that put up big stats, but they do nothing in the postseason or they do nothing against the teams. There's something that elevates a guy when he plays well against the good teams, against the rivals, in pressure situations, pressure environments like Yankee Stadium. You nailed it. Ortiz, he vaulted himself to legendary status for what he did against the Yankees, taking it back to 2004 when they exercised the 86-year demons of the curse of the Bambino. It was Ortiz hitting all those clutch home runs there to keep us alive. That you do something like that against the rival, against great teams like that,
it's forever remembered. Yeah,
that is it. Forever
presidential suite.
That is absolutely right. Absolutely right. So that's huge. What he does, against the Yankees is it's special, man.
And I'll tell you, I wrote down a stat for the show that I thought Red Sox Nation would find juicy and interesting, or really anybody that's a historian. So you guys to this point have played 15 games on a Sunday. Okay. Right now, you are 14-1 when you play on Sundays.
Get out of here.
Through the first 15 games, that ties a record with 3 teams in history.
Get out of here.
You tied the 1981 Brewers, the 1896 Reds,
Get out of here.
And the 1888 St. Louis Browns.
That's crazy, man.
That blew me away because I thought, damn, 14-1 on Sundays. That's excellent. And I thought,
that's insane, man.
That's a record. Tied for a record.
That's insane. That's the great thing about baseball.
1896. Wow.
Over 100 years. Over 100 years ago.
The last team to do that, the 81 Brewers. So
I was 40 something. That's great. That's the cool thing about baseball is that sometimes you'll see something that's never been done. Sometimes you'll see a thing that hasn't been done in over 100 years.
Yeah.
Like it's, like the freaking St. Louis Browns, like didn't even know that was team existed. That's
I won't sit here like I'm Mr. Know-It-All. I'd never heard of the St. Louis Browns.
That is cool as hell. When I think of the Browns, I just think of Cleveland.
That's what and like I said, I know I told you some of these, but going back over it, I mean, you guys have the 9th best record, 6-1 in the last 7. You're 4.5 out of the AL's top wild card spot. I mean, these are all great things to be,
it's awesome. And the city of Boston now is starting to rally around this group of guys that were kind of like just kind of mashed together at a discount rate, like, and not expected to do anything. I think that the Red Sox management and John Henry was expecting to be sellers right now and just unloading the guys and just unloading salaries and just getting prospects, and then all the shit that they're preaching about. Oh yeah, we're planning for the future, we're building our farms. No, fuck that. We want to win now.
Yeah, now you're all hoping to be part of getting rid of Aaron Boone, sending him out the door.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I mean, it was funny too. What you said about Boone, like you caught some of his press conference, and he doesn't necessarily is not echoing the sound of a very confident man right now, is he?
And he told his team, he said, everything is in front of us. Well, I mean, I understand that, but you can't get to what's in front of you until you take care of what's in front of you and in front of you right now.
Right here and now. Yeah.
Now, I mean, like I said, at heart, I'm a Reds fan, and we don't have the luxury of starting off as hot as the Yankees did and being able to lose. I mean, we're terrible. But anywho, like the Yankees, what you did in the first half, man, that's over.
Yeah.
You're about to really screw up your second half of the season here. And with that payroll, how embarrassing. That is just uncalled for.
There's a lot of pressure there. A lot of pressure with that payroll in that market.
They demand to win.
They do. There's not making the playoffs is not even an option.
Yeah.
Not winning World Series is not an option. And you got to believe those players are now feeling that pressure.
Yeah.
And that's only going to make it harder for them. So, I mean, the Sox are loose. No pressure.
It seems like Yankee fans, kind of get on Judge in the playoffs too. Not delivering.
That's true.
It's like, what's going to happen to the Yankees from today on, and what's going to happen to the Sox? I mean, those two teams are going to have one heck of an ending. And then, like you said, you got the Orioles that are.
I mean, the Orioles. I think they're
I don't think they're going anywhere.
They're our biggest competition in the division right now. I mean, they're a solid young team that's young. They're young, and they're going to be good for a while. So, I mean, I think we're something like 7 games back of them. It's
I think I had that wrote somewhere too. That sounds about
somewhere
right.
in there. It's probably, and it's not impossible. It's probably going to be hard to catch them, but I can completely see us catching the Yankees. And getting that. I think a realistic possibility is getting that top wild card spot.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they can still win the division, but realistically, the top wild card spot. All you got to do is get in the dance. You just got to get the playoff.
Then from there, the magic, anything can happen.
That's it. That really is it. You get a hot team in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. You get hot at the right time, you could be having another parade. So,
and to be exact, I know we were both close. I think you were close to me. That's New York's 16th loss in their last 20 games.
That's
so
amazing,
imagine
man.
only winning 4 games in the last 20. How depressing is that?
Man, that is that's almost to the point where as a fan you don't even want to turn on the TV.
Yeah,
like I don't want to put myself to this type of punishment
and you get on Twitter right now and just type in Yankees and every single fan hates Aaron Boone.
Oh God.
Stuff, it's just...
you are so right. The Yankees fans are not the patient type. That they're very reactive. So if I was a player, I would definitely stay off Twitter because the fans not happy.
Another thing I'm reading here, New York dropped 13 of 16 against AL East rivals. So I mean, they're just think of that.
Wow.
I mean, they are really struggling.
That team's got issues.
From what different Yankee fans I looked at that I know are big Yankee fans on Twitter, they are basically saying that Aaron Boone's lineup is just atrocious, and how he adjusted and how he's not in tune. They say he's not in tune with what's going on in games.
Interesting.
So you've got the fans that don't really believe him or seem like they want him there, and now it's like, when do the players start thinking the same, or are they already thinking the same thing?
That's a great point. I don't know if you saw it too on the game on Friday night. Did you see the two players that they actually cost that there's two hustle plays that cost the Yankees runs?
Yes, they were talking about on Mad Dog. The one didn't finish out.
He was jogging home on a double play, or like a rundown play, where basically if the runner crosses the plate before the
tag guy or the
fielder, he can tag the actual runner.
You would get the score.
Yes, exactly. And you got Volpe was kind of just looking down and jogging, and it was like a half step that they tagged him out before he touched it.
And that's hustle.
You give any sort of effort, that's a run right there. So
and I think that's the biggest difference between you all and the Yankees right now. Boston is a team that's a little bit more hustle mode, where the Yankees just kind of seem like they think they're, so much superior than everybody, but the record does not state that anymore.
So, and my man TD, thank you for joining in on the show. He points out what we were talking about a little earlier, how Rafi Devers has vaulted himself into a special category of Sox players, like the Ortizes of the world, that just kill the Yankees. There's something about Yankee killers, and doing it in New York. And it's crazy. I mean, you remember the show we did the other day, and I told you before the series, Devers
that he owns,
kills the Yankees. Like I said, Garrett Cole should never pitch another pitch to Devers, because every game it seems that I watch that Garrett Cole pitches against us, Devers takes him deep.
What was it? Friday night, I had texted you and I said, dude, they only have Devers for 1.5 bases tonight. I would take the over on that. And then very quickly, he went over that.
Yeah. I think the first at bat, he got a single and then a stolen base or something, right?
So it was like, well, there it is right there. Literally. Like, that seems very low to me.
It's, Devers is, forget the Steinbrenners. Devers is now like the owner of the Yankees, because that guy just rakes every time he's in New York, in Boston. It's great to see that. And it would be nice it would be nice to see the Sox meet the Yankees again in the playoffs. We beat them in the wild card a couple of years ago. And to see, you just had a feeling Devers would do something kind of like Ortiz did when he played the Yankees, which was come up clutch. And and
you got to think, with you guys just winning 2 out of 3 in the Bronx. Well, let's say you do meet up in the playoffs. I would have to think all the pressures on the Yankees, because you guys are not expected to be here. You guys would, still probably not be expected to win the series, because all the talking heads are going to love the Yankees.
The Yankees would be favorites.
Yeah. Think about that, ripping their hearts out again. Then you can make fun of their payroll. You probably send Aaron Boone on his way. So
it's. The Sox fans will be going to town on the Yankees. Because we basically, if we get farther than them, it'll be the team that, our manager wasn't even trying to win. They wouldn't even care. John Henry's in England with the Liverpool team, or all of his racing ventures or whatever, and we're beating the Yankees, where it's everything to New York. That's their whole way of life is the Yankees winning. This is a great question. TDT sends it in. Will Breslow, the GM, go for it, or is he going to chicken out at the direction of John Henry, kind of like Heimblum, the previous GM? Boston is watching this, the cheap ass owner. John Henry has become this one of the most hated men in Boston, because he's completely made an initiative, which basically you can tell he's giving it to whatever GM's in place, because Craig Breslow is doing what Heimblum, the previous GM, the exact same thing. He's not signing any players. He's not being aggressive with anything. you got this sinking feeling he's not going to do anything to upgrade the team and give the team a boost. Yeah. To answer that question, I think Breslow's hands are tied, and I don't think he's got the guts to make like one of those, his own call and be like, you know what, we're gonna just pull the trigger on this thing. So yeah, it's gonna be a combination. He's gonna chicken out. He's not gonna want to do anything to upset the owner, and the owner's probably not gonna let him do anything anyway, because he's probably gonna have to run it by the owner to get anything approved. And they're not gonna want to take on any additional payroll. They're not gonna want to get any of the prospects, which are cheap for the payroll because their contracts are still rookie levels. So right now, almost the best case scenario is that they don't trade guys, because a guy like Kenley Jansen, a veteran, right now is worth a lot on the trade market.
Yeah.
But we need him desperately.
Yeah.
He saved 2 games in this series, and pretty much it was like 1, 2, 3 innings over. Like, the guy is right now as close to automatic as it is on the Red Sox.
I mean, not to interrupt, but being a Reds fan and looking at this from Indiana to you guys are playing with house money. I don't think I would do a single thing. I mean, everybody that you will play if you get into the playoffs are going to be probably expected to win.
Yeah.
So you will be playing loose, in my opinion, where everyone else.
Because you're not supposed to win. You're supposed to lose. There's no one's counting on you to.
Let Devers be your hero. Let Raphael be your stud at the end of that lineup. Let Jansen come in. Let Cutter come in. Let Cutter, what's going on now just keep going. I mean, because you guys are honestly turning into what's the famous Major League. Charlie Sheen and all them. That's you all right now. It's like this team that like nobody and then next thing you know, it's like freaking Disney's out in the outfield. It's like this whole big thing. That could be.
I wonder. I wish we could have a hidden camera or a camera in that clubhouse. It's remember in Major League, whenever they'd win, they'd tear up. It's not like we have a female owner, but they tear up a piece of like the owner's clothes until she was like, full Monty boobs out and everything. You got to wonder what's going on with the players are saying in that locker room right now. Let's see. So TD writes in, Boston fans never ever loved Henry in his double talk. That's true. He really loves Cedin Rafaela. Durant, that's another guy, Jaron Durant, we got to talk about. Durant is off the charts, and Dever is the beating all the pitching machines. Yeah, I mean it's we'll take a minute to give Jaron Durant a shout out because it just got announced that he got named to the All-Star team today, which at the beginning of the season, 0 out of 0 experts would have predicted that. I mean, I'm sure you being in Indiana, no one over there has even heard of the guy. I mean, he was, barely cracking the roster for the past couple of years because he did not start out. His career did not start out hot, but he's kind of figured it out. And this year, he's having an incredible year. So,
definitely nobody in Indiana predicted that. I can tell you that right now.
or here, or anywhere. I mean, I don't even know if Jaron Durant's parents or family thought so.
His grandma probably did. Most grandmas.
Yeah, that is true. That absolutely true.
Grandma did.
Yeah, right. But yeah, kudos to him. I'm curious. I haven't heard any talk of Kenley Jansen being an all-star, and he should absolutely be on this team.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his numbers are right there with the best closers in baseball right now. I mean, it's been a long time since he's blown a save. So, and it was so satisfying tonight to end the game, punching out Aaron Judge, blowing smoke by him, just
the big daddy,
put a stamp on it. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, in terms of basketball, that's when the other team's best player takes the last shot and he doesn't hit it, or you
block it. Yeah, exactly. So,
Yankees had their best guy at the plate in the game, did not extend any farther.
That's it. And Judge actually was one of the few guys on the Yankees that came in really hot. He was swinging a really good bat. He's having another great year.
And I mean, I know you would totally disagree with this, and I'm not even sure I agree with it. But a fella on Mad Dog that called in the other day from New York, he was a Yankees fan, and he said that he would love to see Judge fully get his body right, everything get healthy, and try to surpass 61. Now, I know Boston fans don't want that to happen, but in terms of baseball and records, it's fun when you see guys cranking the hell out of home runs. I mean, it's I miss being a kid and seeing
Sammy Sosa
Bonds come to the plate, and not only was everybody in the park pretty much looking out in that dam, where he'd hit it over, and the people in the kayaks were coming.
The lake. Yeah.
And but the thing about Barry Bonds, not to go too off track here, is there's been so much talk about should he be in, should he be not. Yeah. Steroids or not, that dude is
one of the greatest hitters. It doesn't
seen in my life, and
unbelievable.
I've never seen another player come to the plate with bases loaded, and teams literally say, "Freak it, we're going to walk him." Give up a run just so he
never been done. Never been done.
Slam. I mean, that's insane.
Intentional walk with the bases loaded. That is the ultimate sign of respect.
When people tell me he doesn't belong or he cheated the game, I can understand. Cheating's cheating. I get that, and he did cheat the game. But to simply tell me that he's not the one of the best, if not, he's definitely a top 5 all time.
Yeah.
And I would put that up there with like Hank Aaron, Dave Root, but Barry Bonds, steroids or not, my God, that was a fun time to watch baseball.
All right, TD. Okay, this your point here, while true, I totally disagree with. We cannot get rid of Kenley. Okay, yes, he could get us another starter, which I mean you can always use starting pitching. And I do know that we have a guy named Liam Hendricks we signed, and he coming off Tommy John. He hasn't pitched yet. He was a closer, but who knows what happens when you come back for injury. We cannot get rid of Kenley. He was injured early in the season and had some heart attack games where he made you sweat a little, but he is looking like the Kenley of prime Kenley. I mean, tonight it was 1, 2, 3, boom, mow down the Yanks. I do not want to get rid of it.
And that's been a talking point on Mad Dog. They don't want to get the Boston fans that I've heard calling. Some of them are agreeing with you, Mike. Some of them have agreed with TD, but I don't think I would trade him either. Just because I think when he's right and he's doing what he's supposed to do, you guys are dangerous. But I also understand what TD's saying. I get what both of you are saying.
Yeah, no, I respect his point too. Like
it'd be hard for me to get rid of that guy. It really would.
Yeah, me too. Like it's right now. It's one of the things where you feel when I see him come into the game now. I feel like the game's pretty much over.
It seems like he's got a groove.
Yeah. I mean, his ERA is, it's probably in the high 1s, maybe, or around 2, which is fantastic.
But like you both said, MLB, getting another starter, man. That's also, I mean, it's tough. I'm a Reds fan. Nothing we do makes sense, so I can't tell you what to do. But it's a tough call, man. I really don't.
TD, I'm curious. What starter would you trade? Would be worth it for you for Kenley to
good
be traded for? Because I don't want some middle of the road I mean, I think back in the day when we traded for Jeff's soup can, like something like that. I don't want a mediocre starter. Like I'm curious what kind of starter we're talking about here, because I guess there's a price for everything. I guess you want to give us something really good. Okay, we'll consider it. But is Monty Montgomery? How's he doing this year? I'm curious. That was the guy that was the free agent that they passed on, right? I'm asking TV that.
Something that I had asked, or I told you yesterday, Mikey, and you didn't know who he was, and I didn't know who he was, but he was mentioned on Mad Dog for a potential trade.
Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays pitcher. Japanese baseball pitcher. You see Kikuchi. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's 33, and I just looked. He's 4-8, ERA 4.12, strikeouts 98, and a WHIP of 1.31. But I don't know much about that guy.
That will be interesting. So that's the interesting thing about that is, well, number one, would the Blue Jays want to trade him to a division rival, which we are with the Blue Jays? That's the first question, okay? Because you think they'd want to trade him outside of the division to National League or something. Second of all, what's the price? You know,
they said he would be a rental, I guess.
Yeah. He's a free agent. He's going to want a contract. Yeah. And the Sox don't like to pay.
So that could be only good if you guys want to.
What do you have to give up, though? What do you have to give up? Is it going to be a middle of the road prospect? Do they want one of the top prospects? And do we want to give up a top prospect for a rental of a guy that's decent, number 3-4 type starter numbers?
Not like amazing.
Exactly.
And sometimes I think people want to make moves just to make, not saying TD, but sometimes people just want to do something without thinking like, okay, well, how much better will that make us? Or is it something that we should just stick with what we got? And in my opinion, you guys might have something special there that I think, with everyone doubting you guys, I almost would want to keep this roster the same so that they can have the last laugh at the end of the season. If you guys,
that's it. I mean, it's you'd hate the thing about for TD's wish list. The thing you hate about trading someone off the roster is you're weakening your roster to strengthen another part of it, but it's you're plugging one hole,
and you never know how the trade's going to work for either team.
That's it. I wish we were the kind of team that would be like, okay, we're going to give up a few prospects, and then you just add to the roster. So the GM 2 GMs ago, before the Red Sox got super cheap, was a guy named Dave Dombrowski. And the thing that I loved about him, you've heard of him.
He was aggressive.
He traded, some of our top prospects, but he got guys like Chris Sale in their prime. He got Kyle Schwarber, just some great players that ended up helping us win the championship in 18. And the funny thing is, sometimes you trade those prospects and they turn out to be nothing. And the guys he traded for they pretty much suck.
That was me giving what's up to DFW.
The piece. Oh! There he is. There he is. My main homie, Drewski.
Down there in Texas.
In Texas, man. And I had
put
it on Twitter. Man, Lance, we got to step up our game because this dude.
Yeah, he's like Stephen A. Smith, and we're like
my guy was doing the post. We're doing a post game, basements and living rooms and kitchens or whatever. He's doing it straight from the game. Not just that.
He's hanging out with the owners in a limousine, and
basically, yeah. Not just that though. The guy could be hired by Fox Sports or whatever team broadcasts arrange because he'll take video of the home run balls and track it perfectly. It's like
it's nuts.
If I want the replays of the game, I don't want to go to the sports center. I want to see Drewski's angle of it because he's got the best angle. So
the next camera guy for freaking the NFL or something about to happen.
Oh, seriously, man. And Drewski is, man. I'm just trying to learn. I'm just trying to get to his level. We're trying to get to his level. Lance.
I know, I'm down here in a creepy basement. I got my stuff that I had when I was 13 back here, trying to look cool.
How'd that duct tape and all the knives and all the the skeletons? Oh man. So yeah. So back to T's point that okay, so now we're talking. So I would agree.
Ooh, I see 4 guys down here. Okay.
So those are our very top prospects, and I'd agree. We have some really high level prospects. We don't want to give up. Anyone else, the kind of mid-star prospects, they shouldn't be untouchable.
No, I saw him say something about Yoshida. What he's?
Yeah. So
Yoshida.
Yoshida's under a big contract, and
And it's funny because I just told you yesterday, I said, man, am I a weirdo being a Reds fan? I kind of like this Yoshida guy. And you're like, well, actually, he's just now starting to come on. Like, heavily.
He was terrible at the beginning of the year, but now he's kind of doing what the management had really hoped he could do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the clutch hit the other day and putting up, tough at bats.
He is like you said. I don't mean to interrupt. You said something that was perfect the other day, Mikey. You called him a poor man's Ichiro.
Yeah, right. When he's on, the guy is. He'll battle at the plate. Has great eye for the strike zone, contact hitter.
So
when he's at his best.
How do diehard fans like you think, Mikey? I know TD and people are in here. What do you all think of Yoshida? Is that a guy that you feel like, I would like to get rid of that contract? Or is he a guy, if he's playing like this, you're like, okay, he deserves that contract?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. Last year, their Sox got criticized like crazy when they signed him because
I remember people being like, what are they doing?
They paid a high price to bring him in. And then he ended up doing well, and then the Sox got some praise, and then this year, he's dealt with some injuries and was in a slump, and people have been very down on him. And he has a big contract, but the thing is, it's pretty sad though these days that we even have to think about managing like the money on the payroll. Like, I mean, look at the Yankees, how many players they signed for over 18 million. That doesn't work out, they still just take on more salary. It's not a big deal. We should still be like that too. We got a lot of money with the TB contracts and Fenway being packed all the time. It shouldn't even come down to money. But his contract
is out over here. 18 million for a DH not worthy. Now, when you put it like that, it kind of sounds like, well, damn, is he worth it for 18 million for a DH? I'm a Reds fan. We can't even afford anybody like that. So
it's interesting that TD says that. TD, would you agree with me? The Henrys let Kyle Schwarber walk for it was either 18 million or even less. Okay, and that dude is a hitter. That dude rakes. He was great for us, and we let him walk for money. Because of money, and at probably the same price or less. And if we're going to pay that money for DH, we should have kept Schwarber because he was the man. Yoshida was kind of an unknown and it's been mixed results. So it's been a questionable signing. However, he put himself in good graces after what he did on Friday. So let's see what happens. I know team's going to
get against the Yankees. It changes everything. I've noticed.
Yeah. TD loves the Schwarber. She was freaking amazing for us.
This is really random, Mike. Me being a Reds fan, didn't we get who you guys at one point, I guess, considered washed up, Bronson Arroyo? Didn't we get him from you guys?
You did.
I love him, dude. He was like one of my favorite players.
Love that dude.
That long hair. That dude. He had that high kick that he did.
He did.
Like, dude, this guy's badass. And my friends were like, yeah, cool it, Lance. He's not really, he's supposed to be washed. And then he actually played decent for the Reds for a while, I thought,
There's something about that. He did have the smoothest delivery, didn't he?
Sick.
It was like when you're playing wiffle ball, it's like, you imitate players. That's the player you want to imitate that delivery. It was sweet. Not only that, he was a freaking awesome musician, like guitar player and singer.
He could. He's like the ultimate cool.
He was like the coolest dude. He was the coolest dude, and he was actually.
I don't remember. Why did you guys Was he washed and you traded him?
No, not at all. No,
I don't remember the story.
Not at all. If I remember correctly, we traded him for a guy named Willie Mo Pena, who was on the Reds. This guy that was, just a friggin' freak of nature, hulk of a man that when he did hit the ball, he'd go 500 feet. But he was like that guy from Major League that couldn't hit the curveball. Like,
it was his kryptonite.
Pitchers adjusted and got the scouting report. They throw him a curve, and the guy couldn't hit him for the life of him. And he was, out of the league in a few years later. And Bronson goes on to have this great long career and had a lot of great years with you guys. So that's a trade that
TD,
I think this.
ask a great question over here because I've been asked this before. So everybody's like, so Lance, you live in Indiana, you're a Reds fan. They pretty much sucked your whole life. Well, the reason I like the Reds is because for where I live in Southern Indiana, that was the closest major league team. It's about an hour and 35 minutes, almost an hour and 30 to like hour 45 from me. And then King Griffey Jr. was my favorite baseball player. So he was playing in, I think it was it Synergy Field that the Reds played in before they went to the Great American Ballpark. I think it was Synergy Field. But anyways, Great American Ballpark, it was close for me. I mean, the next closest team for me in Indiana would be, St. Louis Cardinals are about 5.5. Chicago Cubs are like 5. They're about kind of roughly about the same, but I don't know. I just I liked the Reds because I think it was a coping mechanism for me liking the Lakers and Duke basketball because everybody made fun of me for being a bandwagon when I was a kid. So I kind of had to balance it out with the Reds.
But not just that, Ken Griffey Sr. played for the Reds too.
Yep. And my older brother's 10 years older than me. I remember him having a bunch of Pete Rose stuff.
So Pete Rose,
But he does ask about the fans.
Should be in the Hall of Fame. But Marge Schott, you remember Marge Schott? He's asking about Marge Schott. Do you remember that the owner?
Yeah, he was very racist.
Well, I forget some of the stories of her.
What a clown!
There were some hilarious, like just most out of touch owner like things that she did. I forget some of them.
The thing about Reds fans now, it's like, and I even when I went on Twitter earlier and went into them a little bit because you sweep the Yankees and then you continue to then get destroyed by the Detroit Tigers.
Did they?
3 games. Not necessarily destroyed, but just I think they lost every game. I don't think we won a single game.
That's crazy. That's okay though. Sox fans, put in all your resources to beat the Yankees, then lose all the other games.
It's like, okay, here's what's exciting about the Cincinnati Reds. Ellie De La Cruz. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we got this amazing guy, but you know what's going to happen? The Yankees or the LA Dodgers are going to come calling in 3 years when the Reds can't afford him, unless we do like a Joey Votto type thing where we sign him for 100 years and then he turns into an old man. Which I love Joey Votto. But it's like the Reds.
They'll do the Mookie Betts. What happened to Mookie Betts with us?
They're dumb, dude. Like, how can you not want to spend money and win? And, my older brother makes fun of me. He's like, dude, when I was little, Lance, he said, I'd never cheer for a team that's ownership doesn't want to spend money or try to win. And he's like, I look at your Reds as a team that's not interested in winning because they don't ever spend money on anybody.
It's crazy. Yeah.
But I'm not going to bail on them. I think you're trying to pull me to Boston a little bit, but I can be excited.
American League, Red Sox are your team. American League, and for the show's sake, you're a Red Sox fan. You got no choice, Lance.
Red, Red Sox. So it keeps
right.
And we both have the Yankees. So.
Absolutely, man. What was I going to say?
Reds fans, would you rather have the Sox win it or Yankees or Dodgers? Okay, now this is interesting because I don't like the Yankees. And I told Mikey when I first started helping him, I used to have this really gut feeling of wanting to stab Boston because I'm a Colts fan, and Tom Brady made my life hell the whole time I was a kid. Because I'd go to school and tell everybody how great Peyton Manning was, and then they would come back and say, well, why doesn't he ever beat Tom Brady? Well, Tom Brady doesn't count, damn it. So, honestly, I want to see the Red Sox win. I'm doing this show. I'm picking up stats now and stuff. I don't hate the Dodgers. I don't have a problem with the Dodgers.
I don't either.
I like the Lakers, but I'm not, an all LA guy. I just, I like their colors. I think their jerseys look good, the blue and everything. I will say one person I do like on the Dodgers, and this is a cool story. Will Smith, the catcher.
Okay.
His grandfather was my principal in Indiana.
No way.
And my best friend and his grandfather are super close. So I actually got to see when his grandfather last year brought a LA Dodgers baseball bat and a jersey to my friend's house signed
Oh, that's cool.
Will Smith. So
that's cool.
I definitely like seeing him do good. And he played at Louisville University, which is in my backyard. In college. So, he's a local kid. I want to see him do well. But I hope the Red Sox win. Just because how funny is it that you guys don't have near the salary?
There's something to the underdog story of it. It makes it like that much cooler. If we can,
the Yankees can literally just. It doesn't matter if they can afford it or not. They sell all these hats and jerseys and all these freaking Yankees things, and
they got more money with the TV contracts, everything.
We can't do that. And I want baseball. I think it's ludicrous that baseball doesn't have a freaking
salary cap. Yeah, that is. It's just
how can a team like Cincinnati compete with the Yankees?
Seriously. It's almost impossible. Almost impossible.
Our ownership sucks, but how can we compete? When we can't even afford their like seventh guy on the roster.
That's it. It's two different playing fields. It's really
a little baby, but it's just not fair when you think. But then look at you guys. You guys weren't expected to do much, and you're proving that with good coaching, good development. The Reds have David Bell at head coach. I don't really care for him.
I wonder what is the Reds payroll?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest, on the spot.
In the lower 100 million something.
It's not very much.
Because the Yankees are at 300 something million. The Red Sox are at maybe 180. It'd be interesting.
That's actually it is total payroll 110.
And 110. Okay, that's what I thought. So maybe
adjusted payroll. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to. It's 104. So
that's insane. I hope TD you're right about Yankees missing the playoffs, because they do seem like they are completely imploding, and that would be the ultimate like Red Sox or Boston like bragging point to those obnoxious Yankees fans. You guys missed the playoffs. Oh yeah.
The greatest announcement that you could ever play was and Marlon Jackson picks it off, and the Colts are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, no, that your one crowning moment as Colts fans. That dreaded 2006 AFC Championship with the come. I mean, we had that game. There were so many things about that game.
As a Colts fan, I walked out of the room. I was like, these cocksuckers are going to do this again. I'm not watching. I remember telling my brother,
we were up 20 to 3 at halftime.
My older brother, 10 years older than me, he's a Broncos fan. He was making fun of me, laughing. I was like, dude, this is stupid. I'm not watching this. I was pouting.
We were looking at Chops as Pats fans. We were like, oh, we got the Bears. Give us a championship now. It wasn't
me and my brother talk a lot about Peyton Manning. It's hard being a Manning Colts fan because, there comes a day, and it came a little late for me, maybe about a year ago, when I finally told everybody that Brady was better. Just kidding. But, with Peyton was so freaking good, man. But the Colts spent all their money on offensive weapons, and we never had a defense.
That's a great point.
Showed you how to build a team. What the Patriots did will never be duplicated, because you guys had Tom Brady, which I pair him with Tim Duncan. Two guys that sacrificed money every time they had a chance to.
It's amazing.
They wanted to win first. They were the ultimate team player. And Brady was 44, whatever he was the last time he won that Super Bowl.
With a franchise that is known for just being losers. Tampa Bay. They were just a joke of a franchise. He goes there. He went instant credibility. He makes everyone on the team better. Vaulted that franchise to a Super Bowl, which nobody else, on this earth could have done. So
TD, if you got to remember this, Mikey, he's saying that the Yankees are going to miss the playoffs. You got to give him a shout out, because that
which would be the ultimate laughing. They'll make them the ultimate laughing stock, especially here in Boston. Which I really hope we see that, because they're on that free fall slide, and it looks like they may just fumble this 14-something game lead that they had right into the offseason with them. And if they miss a place, even with the 3 wild cards now, there's 3 wild cards that make it so much easier to make the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs, I think they should just turn in their professional sports team card and just retire it there. But
7 Super Bowls, man. Every time I see that, it doesn't seem real.
It's crazy. And to be honest, he should have had 10, because he should have had 10. The miracle undefeated season with that David Tyree catching the helmet. They lost a second one to the Giants. Welker drops a ball. The Philadelphia Super Bowl they should have won. He should have had 10, which is crazy.
And like you said,
crazy to say.
Guys were beating us in Indy. They could have won one that year.
That's it. Exactly.
I mean, it's nuts. Yeah, and the thing about being a Peyton fan that always is funny. Because what do you think Eli and Peyton do when they're alone? Do you think Eli teases him like, "Hey, I beat Tom twice. You only beat Tom."
Absolutely, he does.
Brothers, they did get 3 Super Bowls on Brady, but of course he's got 7, so he doesn't care. But isn't it funny that Manning Peyton is supposed to be like this godlike creature, but yet Eli's got
right? Like kind of like the dorky, ho hum little brother.
I love Peyton, but man, are the Mannings not goofy as hell looking?
Oh,
it's like Peyton Manning took every bit of knowledge and his head just kept getting bigger from Tennessee, and then Eli just looks like he took one too many concussions. He's got that.
He's got like that,
I'm sorry, Eli and Peyton, if you see this, I love you. They're like, this guy's never worked for the Colts.
If they do see us, we know we made it. But they'll never see this. Eli was totally goofy. That still bugs the hell out of me that he beat us twice in the Super Bowl. It's almost incomprehensible we lost an undefeated season to him. But anyways.
You were talking. I wrote it down here. The A's coming up next.
Yes,
on Tuesday. I mean, obviously you want the sweep, but win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, have to win that series. Have to win the series. Absolutely.
They suck. They're not good, and these are trip up games though, because
they are.
You beat the Yankees at the Bronx, and you had to get up, and now it's like, we're playing the A's. They kind of suck, and then they surprise you.
These are the dangerous games because the Yankees. The Red Sox were up for that series. Oops. Sorry.
And I didn't even look to see who is pitching for you guys too.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them now, and then
it really shouldn't matter.
You guys I was just going to look up the pitching matchup because these games are dangerous because you're up for the Yankees series, and then you relax a little against a team.
And I'm not comparing my Reds to your Red Sox by any means, but look what happened to the Reds. They sweep the Yankees, then they go play Detroit, and then they suck. Which I'm not even saying Detroit is the A's. I'm just saying, you get up for the Yankees, you get up for the Dodgers.
Yes,
you get up.
They need to keep that same. They need to keep that same intensity because that is the worry now. Is that there's going to be a let up because it's the A's. And like you were saying the other day, sometimes the Yankees. We both kind of felt against the Reds that they felt they could just show up and they'd beat them.
And TD makes another good point over here, Mikey. If they sweep the A's, does that put even more pressure on them to make a move? I say no, because if you sweep another team, then it's like, well, and I know it's the A's, but it's like you sweep this team, it's like, well, damn, now you guys have won 6, 7, 8, 9 of 10 or something like that. It's like, I'm kind of a believer in like good juju and superstitions and things. Man, sometimes you don't mess with something.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? You know the Sox too are looking for every excuse they can to not invest in the team. So yes, they can go 2 ways. If they start losing, they'll say, "Oh well, now we got to sell because we don't have it."
Yeah.
If they start winning, it's like, no, we don't want to mess up this good thing. We don't want to mess it.
And I also feel like what might happen, I wonder if TD will say something like this in the comments, is if you don't make a move and then you say get a wild card spot and then you struggle, are they going to be like, see, I told you we should have made a move. We could have used that other pitcher, or, you're never going to please everybody. And it's just going to be I don't see them doing anything, because if they were as cheap as they were, then that means they don't really want to be aggressive.
And here's the thing. If you do trade for someone, one, they don't want to trade prospects, which is stupid. You got to give up something to get something. And 2, if you're trading for an established player, he's going to have a high salary. And they're so cheap, I can see them being like, no, we don't want to add that salary.
And see, I was curious. I was going to ask you, TD says if they don't make a move, Sox fans will be, will hate Henry even more. I mean, I was going to ask
he
you.
is public enemy number one in this city right now. And quickly, I want to looking at the Oakland series. They got on Tuesday. Tuesday. Brian Bello, who was one of our young, pretty potential stars, who struggled a little bit against a guy named Estes. Then they got Pavetta going against a guy named Sears versus that. Okay, so we should sweep it, but at worst, there's no excuse for us not winning 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I think if you win 1, you're pissed. If you win 2, you're like, should have swept them. But if you sweep them, you're really happy.
Yes, yeah. If the Sox don't make a move, they will. The hate will just he'll go from really hated to supremely hated.
Aaron Boone tonight hated.
Yes, yeah. It'll be that'll be a quick way to piss off the Sox fans who are already pissed about what he's done. Although it's a very weird mixed emotion because we're happy because we're winning, but in spite of this owner that we hate. So it's like it's a weird kind of like confliction of feelings towards this team.
Because I like Edie over here. He said, "Don't look at the pitching. We're sweeping them."
Yeah. Like I expect them to sweep. They should. The A's are pretty much a team that, I mean, we criticize Henry because he sucks, but their owners are just as bad, if not worse, because that team basically doesn't even have a home right now, and they're going to be moving to Las Vegas, and so their fans are probably like, screw this team, they're just going to leave us. And
isn't Las Vegas like supposed to be getting an NBA team? I mean, Las Vegas.
It seems like they're now getting they're going to get everything.
And I've heard that puke on all over my computer right now. LeBron James is apparently wanting to be the guy to bring this NBA team to Vegas. And I mean, I know I'm a Laker fan, but I can't wait till there's a new face of the Lakers. I miss Kobe. I just don't like LeBron.
And LeBron is just so, the way he's completely holds that franchise hostage. And I mean, you're just looking to drafting his son. Do the Lakers draft Bronny if he's not there?
No, nobody drafts.
No way in hell. Like he's not even getting a summer league tryout.
And I don't think anybody's wishing the kid bad. I mean, I think everybody wants to see Bronny do good, but I think people are tired of Braun. People are tired of just the shenanigans that they allow out there. I mean, it's the LA LeBrons.
It is.
It ain't the Lakers no more.
It's LeBron's the GM. There is LeBron. It's the coach is LeBron. It's he whatever he says goes, and it's at this point in his career, he's pushing 40. Like when you're the best player in the league, okay, you can get away with some of that stuff. But now, like to be held hostage by a rapidly declining 40-year-old player, kind of almost washed, on the verge of being washed superstar.
Makes no sense.
It's pretty sad, and
I mean,
as a Laker fan,
this would never happen.
Oh God, no! I mean, the fans here are too smart, and that shit would not fly, and run out of town in 2 seconds.
Kobe would have never let them put up an in-season banner. Kobe.
I know we talked about how do you have that ceremony where you raise a banner mid-season for that stupid gimmick tournament, and a franchise like the Lakers, the second best franchise in the league, to do that it's like the Colts one year raised a banner that said AFC finalist. They were the laughing stock of the league.
Yeah, it's like who cares?
Exactly.
That job's not finished, man. Quit putting that dumb shit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the whole LeBron thing. It's the Lakers really, as we talked about this, off air before. Should have been sellers. They should have sold Anthony Davis and traded LeBron and gotten some draft picks, and maybe if they got really lucky, a Tatum, Jaylen Brown situation.
Think about that. You guys drafted both years after us and got Brown and Tatum. What the hell are the Lakers doing?
With picks after the Lakers picks.
Took Lonzo Ball and took
Was that Brandon Ingram or no? Yeah, I think it was Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball in the 2 spot, and then the 3 spot we drafted Jaylen Brown, and 3 spot we drafted Tatum. I mean, like you guys could have been. This could have been your championship.
This crazy.
Like
what? That's what happens. Rest in peace to the great Jerry Buss, because when he passed away, that team went to shit. The son tried to run it and was an idiot, and then Jenny has tried to run it, and when your owner is on courtside last year hugging and fondling LeBron,
not a great look.
Mesmerized by him.
Not a great look. Yeah.
You're the owner. You're supposed to. I mean, you're Jenny Buss. You're supposed to act a little bit. Your dad and who you are. You're not supposed to.
Did she have something with Phil Jackson?
They dated. Yeah.
Dated. Yeah. I
always thought Jenny Buss was pretty hot back in the day. So
right.
At the same time, it's what a LA is a circus, man.
Yeah.
What a freaking circus.
I mean, to quote Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface, you don't sleep with the help, but I mean, but TD raises an interesting point.
Bezos,
Jeff Bezos, the billionaire Amazon
wants to buy the Celtics.
If that's true, that's a really intriguing proposition.
You guys would have the payroll.
As a fan, you want an owner that has bottomless pit pockets to invest in the team, where basically, like in the video games, you turn the salary cap off.
Yeah,
basically an owner that just turns the salary cap off.
You override or fire the coach to make the trade.
Ridiculous, luxury taxes and this and that. If that's true, if he is interesting behind the scenes, and he's going to spend someone that really has so much money in the world that they can never ever spend it all, even if they tried, that would be great. The only scary thought is the Fenway, the John Henry's corporation, the Fenway Group buying the Celtics is the nightmare scenario, which I don't know if it's true, but I've heard they're interested, and I would hope that there would be a complete revolt and to make sure that never happens. But so apparently it was in the paper this past Sunday. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting. And so the current owner now, he's only the 2% owner, but he's basically the guy that's on TV and the voice of the South, this ownership. He's been awesome, because this offseason, you hardly ever see this happen. Okay, you win the championship, you see a lot of guys get poached by other teams that want to overplay players. Because championship players are worth a lot, because they got the experience and this and that. Our owner Wick literally brought back every single, aside from a couple scrubs on the bench, literally brought back every single player and signed them to top market. You have the 2 highest paid players in the league. He's the basically on the Mount Rushmore of owners in Boston right now because of what he did, and saying, I don't care about luxury taxes. There's a few different levels of luxury tax in the NBA. There's a first apron, second apron. Mm-hmm. He's I don't even care if we pass that second apron and get taxed, crazy shit ton of taxes taxed on us. He literally, like TD says, the best owner. He really is was the best owner, and I was shocked. When I heard that the Celtics were selling after the championship.
That is crazy.
Did that surprise you, Lance? We win it, and then 2 days after the play, they're for sale. I mean, if you ever want to do maximize the whole sell high thing, that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's business decision. It's smart on their end, but
being that you guys are on the NBA right now, I gave Tom Byrne on Mad Dog earlier. I called him, of course, and gave him my sleepers in the East and the West, and I'm pretty confident about these 2 picks.
All right.
And everyone, a sleeper's definition to me and everybody else might be different, but a team that with getting KCP from Denver the Orlando Magic.
Oh, interesting.
I got my eyes on them in the East. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win a title. I'm just saying Pablo Banchero is getting
They turned some heads this year.
KCP is a great addition. So watch the Magic. And I've told you, I'm not calling this team a sleeper because if you make the Eastern Conference final, now regardless, other tems were injured and stuff, the Pacers did they learn something from falling apart and you guys beating them? Or, because sometimes when you lose heartbreakers like that, it makes you better. So
they gave the Celtics tougher series than the Mavericks did. We swept them. It was the most competitive sweep in the history.
And they added Wiseman, who is low risk, high reward. Because
I didn't even that was under the radar.
Yeah, Wiseman at center could really help in that rotation a little.
Number
bit.
2 overall pick in the draft a few years ago.
That's kind of a sneaky move. Now Tom Burns,
interesting.
Totally different. He says that the Indiana Pacers they were lucky to get where they were. He just doesn't see them as that good of a team. I think they're pretty deep. They have a pretty deep bench, and they have some pieces that if they do play well, maybe they could trade for something. But in the West, my sleeper,
they got a good coach too. Carlisle's a good coach.
Now my West sleeper, and this depends solely on Zion Williamson's health, is the Pelicans, because that team has got some talent. And I know they're in the West. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but man, I think the Pelicans are a team to watch this year. Brandon Ingram, Zion. I think they signed back Valanciunas coming back to play center.
If Zion gets back to what he was when he was at Duke, when he was the most unstoppable force,
he's got to quit eating and being lazy.
Before he fell in love with the value menu at McDonald's. The guy was, like people were like holding vigils to get that lottery ball.
And even when he has played these last couple of years, and people talk about how he doesn't play much, his stats are retarded. I'm pretty sure they showed a stat on ESPN last time he played the Lakers, which he dropped 40 points on us in that playing game. I mean, dude, every time Zion plays the Lakers, he kills Anthony Davis.
That was. He got injured in that game. He was like incredible in that game.
And had he not got hurt that game, they might have beat us because he was going head to head with us. That's what people fail to forget. When Zion's on the floor, you can't deny his greatness. He will get rebounds. He'll dunk it on you. He's tough. He just mentally right now isn't right. He's not right. You don't do what he's doing if you love playing the game. I think Zion has other interests, and we've all heard the crazy stuff he's into with porn stars. And
wasn't that something though? When that porn star went off the rails and started basically opening the tell all about every personal detail about him, that was crazy. You look like you're reading something, Matt.
Yeah, sorry. I was listening to so he's asking about the Knicks. So right now, all the hottest picks are Celtics 1, Knicks 2, and Philly 3 with Adam Paul George. Now here's my issue with Philly. Embiid's always dragging that damn leg. He's always got something wrong with him.
Knee
Paul
issues.
George, we'll have to see how he fits in there and things.
He's another injury prone guy.
I had a list. You can talk for a second, Mike. I got a list that I wrote down, and I'll just tell you who I think my East is because so my East, what I think is going to go down.
I agree with TD that what the Knicks gave up for that guy,
crazy
Brooklyn, 5 unprotected or it was like 5 unprotected first round picks for a guy that's never really won anything and put up some decent numbers for just an absolute shit team and on the Nets. And then they're all like excited. That was it's going to turn out to be one of the dumbest trades in the history of basketball. A terrible trade on their end.
I don't have a
huge overpay.
But I'm confident with saying I think the Celtics could have the best record in the whole NBA.
Repeat. If they don't repeat it, it's going to be a huge disappointment.
Now, here's the thing.
I know it's hard to do, but
can the Knicks get that second seed? I don't know. A lot of people are saying yes. It's hard for me. I don't know. But let's just say they get the 2 seed. Okay. At the 3 spot, the heavy.
Well, how did it work out for them this year, though? It didn't work out so good.
No. And after them, like I said, Philly's the hot pick.
Mm.
I like Orlando to go as high as 4 or 5.
Mm.
I like Orlando. I have the Pacers right at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then my last team in the East, I think I had was the Heat. I think I had.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're always going to be,
but it's
hanging
tough.
around.
I don't know. It's looking like a 3-headed monster between the Celtics, Philly, and New York.
Yeah.
Now in the West, I did put together my whole list in the West. Now we'll see how awful this is, how good this is. I think the Wolves will be the 1. I got the Thunder as the 2. Now a lot of people have the Thunder as the 1.
They were the 1 this year.
Yeah. Now where I get a little crazy, my 3 in the West, which is a big risk for me to say this.
Yeah.
I like Grizzly. If Ja Morant can stay out of trouble, they added Zach Edey, who I think is going to be in contention for Rookie of the Year just because of that spot he landed up on that team. I like that Grizzlies team.
Which guy? You think Edey? Really?
Edey could be in the discussion for Rookie of the Year. Now,
really?
And if you look at Vegas, he jumped like 8 spots in the last 2 days. He's like in the top 1
really?
2 or 3 to win Rookie of the Year now.
The odds, really?
Huh. Now, who I would tell everybody, and not just being a homer, I like Dalton Knecht from the Lakers. He's at plus 850.
Yeah.
And he's going to get to play a lot.
They got high grades for that pick. I honestly don't watch a ton of college basketball. I have no idea.
He's excellent.
Is he good?
Yeah, at Tennessee, dude, it's ridiculous he fell to 17. Now, he is a little older. I think he's 26, 27, but dude, that just means to me he's more ready to play. These young kids coming straight out of college and high school, sometimes they're not ready.
They need years to develop.
Dalton Knecht is at least going to have a chance to get some decent looks from 3. You got to think LeBron and Davis are still going to draw attention, so he should be left open sometimes. But yeah, Edey's interesting.
What kind of player is he? Is he like
he can spot up and shoot threes, he can create his own shot, and he can drive downhill and dunk. I mean, he's a very athletic white guy.
That sounds like a good pick on.
We needed somebody. I mean, you knew we were getting Bronny.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I didn't. I had the Wolves, the Thunder, Grizzly at 3. I got the Pelicans at 4, and and a lot of people don't have the Grizzlies and Pelicans that high. Then I got the Mavs, the Nuggets, Kings, Warriors, Lakers, Clippers, Spurs, Rockets, Jazz, and the Trailblazers being the worst. Now, my thing in the West that's tricky, man, the Nuggets. I have them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th team.
Oh, wow.
But, dude, their bench is depleted. They have literally the worst bench in the league as of today. I have no problem saying that. They lost KCP. They've lost Brown from that championship team, 2 years ago?
He's a Boston kid. He went to Indiana. And then they traded him to Toronto.
They've lost big pieces from their title teams. And, now their starting 5 at the Nuggets is amazing. They have a great starting 5, but, dude, that bench scares me. And the Mavericks, I don't know how to take the Mavericks. I don't think they get back to the finals by any means.
That was kind of fluky this year. They had a lot had to go right to have them get to the finals this year.
Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
TD's got Denver, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Dallas. I mean, a lot of people still, hold Denver in that championship form because of their MVP, Jokic.
I think it's just that bench that works.
A lot of questions there. Yeah.
Like I said, the Kings, Warriors, and Lakers. Those are 3 interesting teams because I don't see the Lakers being out of that playoff game or playing game again. They're going to be stuck in the same damn spot.
Yeah.
The Warriors, here's a sneaky thing about them nobody's talking about. They added Buddy Hield. So
that's
you
right.
lose
They just
Klay
got
Thompson, but Buddy Hield's probably a little bit better. I mean, people forget Klay Thompson's not the same. He can't play defense anymore.
He's older now. He's older. Yeah.
And to me, him going to the Mavericks does not move the needle near as much as some people are saying because what did the Mavericks need? They need defense.
Yeah.
And Klay didn't play no defense.
That's right. Klay went to the Mavericks. Okay.
Yeah. Now, he does help when Luka's kicking it or Kyrie's kicking it. Yeah, you can't leave him. He'll hit threes, but On the defensive end, he's a liability. He can't guard nobody anymore.
Did you hear Klay Thompson's dad, Michael, who's a Lakers legend? Did you hear his reaction when he signed there? He's like, "Oh, no, I'm not too thrilled about that."
Oh, really? No, I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, you think he'd be like, "Oh, it's great. My son's going to a great team." And he's like, "No, darn it, I want him to go to the Lakers, my team." So
we wanted him, but no. Yeah. And that's the thing about LeBron, dude. Nobody even wants to come play in LA. We've whipped on like everybody that's just like a guy that you would think would just take a contract, and they're even like, "Nah, we don't really want to go there."
He's no longer the draw that he once was when he was with Miami and Cleveland, where guys would be ring chasing. They don't see him as that path to a ring because he's fallen off. So
now, like I said, Trailblazers, I think, will be the worst team in the West. I think a lot of people are expecting that. Now in the East, is it? I'm assuming Detroit. Is that the worst team?
Oh yeah, they were so bad. I mean, they broke the record this year for consecutive losses. They were so bad at one point that Vegas had made odds. Are they going to win another game in the season? And then this was like not even halfway through the season. So that's how bad they were. I don't see them getting much better. The lottery balls didn't even favor them. They didn't even get the one pick. They're going to be bad.
He put some interesting stuff over here. So my problem with the East, I don't know what to think of the Bucks anymore. I really don't. Now I know.
Oh yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, no one's talking about them.
I don't have a problem saying they'll be in the playoffs. I mean, Giannis is that good.
He could bring 4 G League players to the playoffs. He's
the issue for me is Miami. Are they one of those bottom feeder teams? Do they barely make the play? Miami's interesting. What do they do?
Well, last couple of years they've been the eighth seed.
Yeah, and he mentions Phoenix in the West. Phoenix is a team that I don't feel that comfortable about their bench either. Now I haven't looked as of today. Maybe they have added some people I haven't seen, but
not that I know of.
Just hasn't really seemed like they've blossomed like you thought they would have. I mean, they got KD. Grayson Allen led the league last year in 3-point percentage. Luke Kennard. Yeah, Grayson Allen.
Grayson bleeping Allen?
And who was number 2? Was Luke Kennard from Duke. So you got 2 Dukes leading the league in 3-point percentage. Get out of here. Now, not Mays, but
he's got to be. All respect to your love of Duke. Grayson Allen is one of the biggest douchebags in the league. I cannot stand that guy. I told
my friends, I was like, dude, if I wasn't a Duke fan, I would hate this kid.
I get scared every time the Celtics play a team he's on because he's trying to injure every guy he's playing against, trying to slide his legs under, doing all the dirty crap.
I don't think anybody expected Grayson Allen to even still be on an NBA roster, let alone he led the league in 3-point shooting last year. I mean, I had
no clue about that.
He led the league, and Luke Kennard was number 2. So you had 2 guys. Crazy. That was crazy to me. Wow. And 2 guys that are just your typical white preppy kids,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
People hate them.
Those
and how funny is it that freaking JJ's the Lakers? I mean, it's like all this Duke stuff's going full circle for me, but it's not. It's not a good time. It's not a good time.
Well, the best. You're forgetting one guy out of Duke, Tatum. Tatum, that's the top guy right there. So, actually, since you do watch a lot of Duke, how was Tatum that 1 year at Duke? Was he?
Dude, he was awesome. Oh yeah. I wanted us to go farther than we did. But I've loved Tatum, and I seen a video yesterday. You might, because I haven't watched him as much with the Celtics as I did with Duke, obviously. But they said it looked like he changed his shot a little this year.
I saw that too.
Changed his mechanic or something.
I saw that tweet too, and they were comparing his shot from when he was a rookie. It looked a little different. He definitely. He's definitely evolved his game. I mean, it's the shot does look a little different, but it's probably happens more often than we notice because, it's guys evolve. It's their bodies evolve, their games evolve, so it's not that shocking.
My favorite player outside of Tatum that won a title with you guys this year was freaking Al Horford. I mean, Horford is. I consider this generation's Tim Duncan. I've told you that before. Not necessarily
classiest, consummate professional leader,
great teammate. Who doesn't
all of
like
them?
I mean, if there's people out there that really don't like Al Horford, I don't know why. I mean, how can you not like him? I'm not saying you don't like the Celtics.
Yeah.
But why can you not like him? He's cool as hell. Drew Holiday, cool as hell. I wish he was on the Lakers. I like dogs. You know, the last
Drew Holiday
that LA had.
Love Drew Holiday.
Been a minute. We don't have any dogs on our team.
No.
For my money, we don't. Not like you guys do. You got guys that'll dive on the floor. We got guys that'll bitch.
Right. LA, like the last dog that I can think of, like for you guys. I mean, aside from
Caruso comes to mind for me, and they let him go.
I think of like back in the day, like Ron Artest.
Yeah,
that guy was.
I
mean, one of the toughest SOBs.
That was Kobe playing chess back then, not checkers. He went and recruited Ron Artest to get off.
Did he?
Because he had to get guarded by Ron Artest.
One of the best guard defensive players.
If I can get him away from a Grady and Yao Ming, it'd be easier road for me.
Yeah.
You know,
that is so true. TD's absolutely correct. What Big Al did in the playoffs cannot be understated because KP. We all knew he was going to get injured at some point, and it happened. In the first round, and it's quite comforting to have a guy like Al right there on the bench that can step in, and the Celtics don't miss a beat. He plugged that hole and played incredible for the Celtics, putting played big minutes, expand, did everything pretty much that we needed him to do until KP came back, which was really only for one true good game. Although I do believe he did win us that first game in the finals. But he held it. He held us together. What Al did was invaluable. I mean, so I don't think there's a happier person than me.
When Al was on those Hawks teams, they were super good. He took them Hawks teams far a couple times, and I think he even matched up against your KG Celtics in them back then.
He was, he was a rookie on the championship 08 team, and that might have been our toughest series, to be honest. That first round against the Hawks that went 7 games with Al Horford on it.
Nobody thought the Hawks were going to really have a chance.
No, not at all. Not at all. They gave us a massive scare. Yeah, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's been doing it well for a long time.
He was on those Gator teams that won
Florida
with Billy Donovan.
That's it. That is it.
Joakim Noah. Remember Joakim?
Oh,
he was annoying.
Man. He like KG and him hated each other. It was so funny.
And I hated KG because I was a big Laker fan.
Of course. It was
I liked KG when he was at Minnesota. Then he went to Boston. I was like, God, dude, of all teams, man.
And basically, that's how I feel about the Yankees. The Yankees will take players that I'm indifferent about or respect in the league, and then make me hate them. It's.
What? Being a Boston fan, I don't think I've ever asked you this. What was it like seeing Johnny Damon go from long-haired caveman Geico commercial-looking dude to didn't he cut his hair when he went to the Yankees?
The Yankees have a no beard, like you have to be groomed policy, which is the lamest, the stupidest, lamest, most like outdated thing. Yeah, they took him from like Jesus, looking like Jesus. And then they, made him into Judas, So I mean, it was pretty. That was one of the ones that hurt. We've lost players to the Yankees. We've had big Red Sox stars go to the Yankees. Clemens, Jacoby Ellsbury. I mean, Verdugo now is in the Yankees. We've had a lot of guys go there, but that one really hurt because Johnny was. Part of one of the heroes in the 03 comeback, and then the Yankees signed him, and he played really well for the Yankees. He, like TD says, he kind of sold out for the Yankees, which, I can never totally hate on a player for taking more money.
From your
signing on that team, because if I was in that position, I'd probably want the most money too. But yeah, that one that one hurt in the fact that he, went to the, it wasn't. I guess I could have stomached it if he went to a different team, but the fact that he went to the Yankees kind of was real.
Sure.
That one hurt. That was kind of slap in the face. So that sucked, but yeah, I mean, we've had our share. You don't see too many like great Yankees coming to the Red Sox, but you see a lot of great Red Sox that have gone to the Yankees.
What's the vice versa? I can't even think of a player off the top of my head.
Wade Boggs was a player too that went for the Red Sox and the Yankees and won, along with Clemens. A lot of guys. Let me think of Yankees that have come to the Sox. I can't think of.
I don't even know.
I mean, there was that we signed a guy. TD's stepping out. The shows we're hitting an hour and a half. We're having fun.
Oh my god!
Yeah. TD, thank you for much respect and love to you too. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you tune in to more.
We will send you that Peyton Manning jersey ASAP.
The Peyton Manning sucks jersey. No, appreciate you, my man. What we were just talking. Yeah, I can't think of any really superstar Yankee players that have come to us or we've signed.
Guys losing them to the Yankees.
There had been rumors that we would steal Judge when he became a free agent, and those turned out to just be rumors, and probably put up by Judge's agent to drive up his price.
Now, as far as they said earlier today, that the MVP is it between Judge and what's his name? I feel like an idiot from the Dodgers.
Oh, Ohtani?
Are they really the top? I don't know who the top getters are right now. Are those two supposed to be the MVP leaders right now?
I mean, in theory, they both should be at the top of the list because they're probably the two of the most dangerous hitters.
I was curious who was
I would think that Vegas would probably have set them as the favorites, for AL and the NL, because you get the AL MVP and the NL MVP.
Which Ohtani and his injuries, man, as a Dodgers fan, I would just be nervous with how he's just batting this year, but he's not pitching. It just is weird.
Well, the whole fact that what he was doing that nobody had done since Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
To be a dominant pitcher and hitter was insane, insane. But I mean, as a Dodger fan, I'm almost you almost wonder if you want the guy doing that many things, when because
you're gonna wear.
There's a lot of things right. But the guy can absolutely rake. I mean, he's a freak of nature, and every time he makes contact, the ball has a chance to go 400 something feet.
That's nuts.
I mean, I don't know exactly what his numbers are, but he's he should be putting up pretty big numbers. Which I'm still bitter that the Red Sox didn't even try to sign him, and the Dodgers got pretty much every free agent this year. It's funny actually thinking about him and sort of changing the subject a little bit, but with we were talking about the salary cap earlier with the MLB, basically being turned off. I think the MLB needs to not allow teams to sign players to the type of contract they did with Ohtani. And I don't know if you heard. Oh, so it was like a $700 million contract, but here's the thing: it's only going against $2 million for the next 5 or 10 years each year, and they're deferring all the rest of it. The Bobby Bonilla, the rest of it till after his career is over, which for one helps him because he doesn't have to deal with California state tax.
True, because it's
and two, it gives the team more resources to sign more players. It seems like a clear-cut way to circumvent the cap, and basically it's allowed them to sign all the biggest free agents. Mookie Betts got us from the Red Sox. They poach Ohtani. They get they've had Kershaw for years. They get all the big players, and they get the breaks of not having to pay them right away either. So it's like
this
you
might
think
be a
that
good question. Is their payroll higher than the Yankees then, or is the Yankees higher than the
it's
Dodgers?
got to be. It's got to be. The
I would
Dodgers.
have to assume the Dodgers.
Got to be the Dodgers. Like they signed everybody. Under every superstar that they could. They pretty much signed this off season. They signed that Japanese pitcher too. The star.
Oh yeah,
Yamamoto.
Forgot about him.
Though I am. You know what? I'm curious. I want to look up their payroll real quick.
It's got to be retarded if the Yankees are sitting at what we said 300 and something,
almost 400 million. It's like 380.
That's insane.
Yeah.
You got the Reds trying to figure out how to just get guys out of AAA.
Right? Yeah. Oh man.
That's one thing the Reds do a lot. I know you because in Louisville,
I guess they're below the Yankees this year at least.
Really?
They're 320, which is that doesn't sound right. How is that possible?
I would have thought they would have been higher.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, like I was saying, the Reds, we use our AAA team a lot. The Louisville Bats, like they are constantly dipping in and getting pitchers.
Yeah, right.
Right. A lot of times the Reds ruin guys because they call them up too soon and they get rocked.
And they're not ready. Yeah, they're not ready. And then that's now
the cool thing about living where I live, if you do go just like 25 minutes across the bridge into Louisville, Kentucky to watch the Bats.
AAA? Yeah. That's the name of the team is the Bats. Yeah.
Louisville Bats. That's our AAA team for the Reds.
That's awesome.
So they send a lot of Reds guys to rehab at times, and I'll go pay like $9. It's $9 to get in the game if you just.
That's awesome, man.
And I got to see Ellie De La Cruz before he got big.
Wow.
I got to see. I've seen Adam Dunn years ago.
Oh, really?
Called down. I've seen.
That's awesome.
Let's see. Who else did I see? Royus Chapman when he first hit.
Oh, really?
That dude was throwing what, like 104, 105?
Unbelievable.
I saw that live, dude.
No way.
Literally would just look at the catcher's mitt because you just see this like little thing.
You couldn't see the ball. You just hear the pop.
The sound in the stadium that his pitches made. Dude, it was unbelievable.
Crazy, man.
The Yankees for a little while or something.
Exactly. He got the biggest contract to go to the Yankees, and then he flamed out. But I mean, he's still in the league. Is
he? I was curious
with the Rangers, but
he had some control issues, if I remember.
Big time.
He was crap out of it, but you don't know where it's going sometimes.
That's exactly it. And he's he definitely his game slipped a bit since the Reds, but the minor league experience. I've been to the Worcester Red Sox, the Woo Sox.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely you know what if any fans that haven't done it, it's definitely worth it because it's affordable. Unlike going to the pro games where I mean if you want to take a family to a game, get ready to shell out a few $100. Like it's crazy, but. The minor league experience
not too expensive, which it's the Reds. But
that's true. That's true. The Reds are still affordable.
I can sit like right on first base, third base. I swear for under $50. I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but it's
you're absolutely right.
Bad.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, the Sox this year are a little cheaper just because like a lot of people are boycotting the team. But even if you can get a ticket for 50 or under for the Sox, you go to the game. You want to have a beer or two. You're going to pay, like $20 a beer.
Wow.
Then you want
the beers were $16 this year when I went.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like giant. I don't know if they were 22 ounces or 24 ounces.
The tall boys. Yeah.
Still at $16.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
They make you open them. Like you can get two.
I do see that. Yes. Yeah.
Security before you go to your seat. At least
so you can't throw it on the field. Yeah.
Why? I'm going to do it. Like, well, so you don't try to sneak one out or resell it. I'm like, well, dude, I could resell this even open if I wanted to, but okay. That would buy it from me. But.
It's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, we spent me and my fiance spent like $80 or something to get like a mild buzz.
That's what they get. They get you, man. You get and God forbid you get a little hungry. You want a couple hot dogs.
Oh yeah, $13 hot dogs.
That's it, man. That's it.
You know,
an ice cream or something.
everyone in the world should write a letter to the Atlanta Falcons. They have the cheapest food in the NFL. I seen a price list yesterday. You'll have to look it up when you get off show. Go look at what the freaking Atlanta Falcons charge for concessions. It's the most reasonable price food I've ever seen. And they're known for it, apparently. I didn't know
this.
I heard it on ESPN. Cheap, dude. Super
That's
cheap.
awesome.
And I love that because you're already getting gouged to take your family to a pro game.
That's it, man.
The last thing you can do is spend another $300 on chips, popcorn, and some Coke. It's like,
that's the thing. That as a marketing, if I was a marketing person,
I would
you want to get fans. You do dollar dog night or dollar beer night.
And see, they do that at the Louisville Bats every Thursday.
They would do that.
Is dollar hot dog and dollar beer night.
Oh man,
it starts 2 hours before the game, and
it
cuts off seventh inning. But dude, you can, and they'll let you get up to 2 beers each time because the line does get kind of long,
man. Oh, of course,
literally 2 hours, double fist, and getting the back.
There you go. There you do. That's how you do it, man.
Fun, dude.
I wish John Henry, are you listening? Can you do that once or twice?
Cool, man, yeah.
And I crave the hot dog. The Fenway Franks are bomb. So
they
good,
need to do. They
gotta do that.
Marketing people, if you quit gouging people, they will come.
That's it, man. That's really it.
You really care about the kids and the experience, like they all say they do.
Yeah.
Then lower your prices because you know that middle class, lower class people cannot afford to take.
Oh, we can't.
Wife, it's not fair,
They want to do fan appreciation day. That's how they can show the appreciation.
Why not do it to where, okay, even if you had to prove to the stadium like you are lower income with a freaking tax return to get some kind of tickets cheap, do something to where normal people can fill up that stadium. Because you'd be surprised if you lowered prices, man. People would come by the
It'd be a win-win. You get more people, more fans. You bet better karma, better. People feel good. They want to come.
Sell any tickets up in certain sections.
That's it, man. That's
for something than nothing.
Do you guys have a store called Costco out by you?
Yes. Awesome.
Okay. I don't know if you've ever gone there. Have you ever eaten there?
No.
They have the best thing about Costco, and I'm pretty recent to find out about it. You go there, okay? You get a foot-long hot dog and a drink, $1.50.
Yes.
It's the best thing.
Never.
That's it, man. It's amazing. It's like,
and they say they know they lose money on the hot dog, but they don't care because
it brings people in
and they come shop.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's a win-win. You cheap food. That's that. And we should get hired by MLB team. That's
you get the fans in there.
That's how you do it, man.
Here, cheap food, cheap alcohol.
That's it, man. That's it. We were ready to get raped at the grocery store, just buying regular food. Come on, cut us a break, somebody. So
I've literally went to games before and whipped it into Taco Bell to eat beforehand, just so I didn't have to. Yeah,
me too, man.
And I'm drinking beers out in the car before I go in, not driving.
Man, I've had to go to the convenience store before games and snuck in a bunch of energy bars.
Yes, dude.
I can't afford to buy 3 or 4 hot dogs.
Dude, I remember went to the Colts game last year and we started drinking beers and got pretty buzzed and I was like, man, I need to eat something. My stomach's hurting. Well, it was hey, dude, I gotta spend $11 on a freaking sausage link or whatever it was. I don't know. It wasn't a hot dog. It was a sausage or something.
Yeah.
It's Dude, Jim Irsay. What the hell, man?
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, man.
Well, another great show, man.
Man. It's time flew when we having fun. It's we got some people joining in on the show tonight, which is great. We got to keep this momentum rolling. It was this really was a fun show, my man.
Yeah.
So it's
we'll do it again.
Do a few shows this week. Maybe do the some Ace series. Or just do anything summer league, whatever.
We're gonna have to get some bets in for the A's on Tuesday.
That's right. The Lance Lock,
Monday night, Tuesday morning.
The Lance Locks. And we hopefully we'll have the segments that we've been talking about, some of the things that you had mentioned. I don't want to give too many of them away, but we'll maybe have also the segment like the bleep of the weeks and things like that. So
that would be cool.
Well, Lance, it's been a pleasure tonight doing the show.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'll look forward to doing some shows this week. And thank you for all the listeners that have watched us live and are watching it on the replay. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I know our Bleeping City, Mikey Two Guns, Lance Aroni. We will see you next time.
Peace.